Hello everybody, Epic Mewtwo here. Today we are back for another episode of Rebuilding the Assets. I am very excited for today's episode. I really enjoyed doing the Rosé one, and I plan to make a lot more of these coming up here. Today we're going to be doing Beerus and Whis and maybe one more thing, but we're going to see how long it takes for Beerus and Whis first. I don't think they'll take too long. But let's get into it here. So, open up our old Photoshop.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never.
We're going to do Whis first just because he is super easy. There's obviously just the heads and the body here, which is going to be super easy to do. Besides that, we do have Beerus here. He's going to be a little bit more complicated, but the reason why I chose these two for the same video is obviously because it's literally just sticking the head on the body in the right position. So these shouldn't be too hard. If we finish these in a timely manner, we're going to do the beginning scene of Beerus' essay with the lens flare. But we'll get to that a little bit later if we do get to it. Let's start with Whis here. So very interesting how small these assets actually are. Obviously compared to Beerus here, you can see that his body is pretty big. This is a 1080 canvas, by the way, because it's just the screenshot canvas, but I moved the actual screenshot from the game over. We just snagged the different pieces of Whis from the different sheets here. So let's go ahead and do this. Again, this shouldn't be too easy. I don't even know if we'll fast forward through this part because it should honestly just be like lining up the... Wow, look at how easy that was. Let's just make sure though. Yeah, that is a tiny bit off. We can adjust it though. Yeah, I was kind of intrigued how they were going to do this one. Ooh, is it a little bit... interesting. Okay, so what we do have here, how I've set this up, is that we do have the advantage of just kind of clicking this, right? So we can see how it changes here pretty easily. I do see, though, so let's look, because we're doing this one first, right? Let's see if there is any clipping on the corner. It kind of looks like it. So right now the clipping is on the left side for this. Let's just give it a nudge and then have it clip on this side. Okay. And his neck also, yeah. Okay, wait. So maybe if we move it down. Ooh, that looks good. Let's see. So we're looking for the body to be lined up with the head, right? Okay, so that looks good. Let me actually get rid of the transformation controls because that'll make this a little bit easier to look at here. We need the neck to line up. This looks so weird with how it clips together. This or this kind of both look right. Actually, that looks perfect. I think that's what we're looking for. Let's go back to our original image here. Hello, Whis. That's a little bit creepy. That's kind of a little bit chopped. But his neck is definitely even all the way across that way. Like this one, because if we give it a if we give it one down, that definitely doesn't look how that one does. Yeah, I definitely think that that's the right way to go because it's a solid black line across the whole thing. Okay, cool. That was honestly really easy. This one should also be super easy to do. We literally just have to flip the head counterclockwise. That sounded like a joke. Flip the head, but no, it's just, you know, how it be. Alright, so let's get rid of the other head real quick. Wow, I might have actually done that in one go. I'm glad that they have this little like red part here too from his collar to kind of line this up. Easy. Alright, so now we have both. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, so that is an easy Whis asset complete. Like I said, I figured this one would be easy, so that's why I did it. And it's a very nice one too. Honestly, both of these are pretty nice put together. I don't know why they decided to crop it this way. I guess then that way, right, they could just change the... Whoops, I didn't mean to zoom in. They could just change the head, right? They could just change how that looks and then keep the ring. They probably honestly just added a couple more neck pixels. But anyway, Whis complete. So that's good. Let's move on to Beerus. I don't know if we'll be posting them to Twitter this time, like we did in the last video, but we'll see. Anyway, this one's only going to be a little bit more difficult to line up, just because we don't have a way to kind of gauge where it should sit like we did with Whis' ring, right? We sort of just have to look at this image and then look at it here and see how it fits. So obviously with this one, we have 3 different faces for Beerus. They do kind of look the same, these two, I mean. But his eyes are definitely a little bit more closed on that one. But again, this should be pretty easy once we get it. I am going to do a version of this without the key in the background. As you can see, I have one of the key things here. Because if we take a look at his assets, right, there's a couple different ones of these. So that it gives off the effect like the key is moving, right? So we're going to use that one. Obviously, here's the extra heads for Beerus. And then we have this one right here with another key effect. I was taking a look at this, and I do believe that they just have Beerus stay in the same place and his head move while they just switch between the different key images in the background. Because if we look at, where is the image? This one, right? These two together here, the key is stagnant. And you can clearly see that Beerus's ear, right, is kind of a little bit more properly outlined here. And then it gets a little bit shorter up here, and there's a little bit less space here, right? Whereas here, there's a little bit more space. So I think it really doesn't matter what key background we use, is I guess what I'm trying to explain with this. So let's get rid of the other heads. I guess we'll start with this neutral face, which is the one with a little bit of bigger eyes. So that would be this one. And then we can just flip the others, and that should be pretty easy to do as well. So let's line this up. Let's move Beerus a little bit more down here. And let's just line up the head. This shouldn't be too hard. The way that we're going to have to do this is we're going to have to look at the reference image here and kind of see how it lines up to the ring on his neck. I don't think it'll be, again, too difficult. We can always change as well the size of the canvas when we post the image later, so that's not that big of a deal. This already kind of doesn't look too bad. Yeah, we'll ground it there. Yeah, that almost looks good there. Can we take a little bit of a zoom in here on this and compare it? So that's like maybe a third. That honestly looks pretty good. I think we could do a little bit more down. Again, it's hard to do this one just because it's eyeballing it, because there's nothing to go off of. It's just the neck, right? And then looking back at the original image, let me do some quick tweaks here, and I'll come back once we have it in the right spot.
A few moments later.
All right, so I think I got it in the spot that I wanted in. I'm pretty sure it's exactly how the image is, but I think it looks good enough to be the case. I was just kind of using the amount of color on the neck as reference. So I think it should be good. I like how it looks though. So this part should be a little bit easier. We're just going to take the heads here. Now, well, maybe not a little bit easier, because we're going to have to... Let's look up the heads first. So let's do this one first with the squinting eyes. So let's grab that. Let's flip it counterclockwise. Whoops, not that one. Uh-oh, he did, bro. He did. So let's go. Actually, we need to turn this clockwise then, right? Oh, well, we're just gonna go for a ride then, because I'm already committed to it. All right, perfect. So we could just put it in the same place, right? Like, let's see. Let's put this as the top layer. Ooh, actually, you know what? That might be perfect. Exactly where I put it. I do believe. So the thing that we have to look at here is the chin position changing? Are the ears position changing? I think it's just because obviously there's a little bit less. His mouth is closing. So that's what's leaving, right? This definitely looks like how it's changing here. I think that's good. if I'm being 100% honest with you. That was honestly super quick. So we have it in this position now. Yeah, no, that's definitely not correct. Let's put it back. That looks good. Honestly, I like how that looks. I think this is fine, and then we can get rid of the other head. Yeah, I think that's fine right there. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? As long as the asset is put together like this, that's what we're looking for. Alright, so now we need the screaming head. This one shouldn't be too bad. It is I keep doing the wrong one. Counterclockwise. There we go. I was gonna say, there's no way that it's not. That's how clocks work, bro. Alright, so let's put this one on the top now. This one's gonna be a little bit difficult. So let's just see the cheekbone, or that's not his cheek, that's like his eye bones? Yeah, definitely. That also honestly looks good, just kind of placing it there. But that's not how the game does it, right? Because if we see, the head does move position a little bit, and it's not just changing the position of the face. Honestly, this looks really goofy, by the way. This doesn't look too bad, though, as it is. But I think we should definitely change it. Let's go back to the angry face. This does look pretty much how it is, though. Let's see. There is a little bit of purple here. Let me do some finishing touches real quick.
1 hour later.
Okay, so I think it's in the right spot now. I kind of used how it lines up with the lines on his neck to get it in the right spot. Let's put this head here. It's not as big. Here, let's put the other one there. That's not what we're looking for. Anyway, here we go. So, yeah, because it looks like a lot bigger of a difference when I'm looking at that there, but maybe my eyes are just deceiving me, because it's definitely a little bit of change in the position of the head, but it's not like 100% there. What if we just do this? That looks a lot closer to the change here, because it's definitely a lot bigger than that. Yeah, that looks pretty good, actually. Let me do some more finishing touches, and I think we'll call it for this head.
8 hours later.
Alright, so we got it in the spot that we're looking for. I think that's just fine how it is here. I do like all of these, though. These do look really good. Again, this was a very simple rebuild, because it was literally just putting the head in the right place. If I'm gonna be honest, I think my favorite one might just be the stale face Beerus, but I do like this one where he squinted a little bit, because it kind of makes him look more like a cat. This one, though, goofy, mad goofy, but we will save all of these real quick, so let's go ahead and do that. They look pretty close to the original, I would say. We do have these kind of saved. Let's go ahead. You know what we can do? Actually, is an easy way to maneuver around this. We won't save the actual image, or we won't save the actual like workspace. Let's go out a little bit here so then we can get his ears back in. Wonderful. Perfect. Okay, so we can do this, and then everything else is cropped out, right? How do the ears go? The ears only go down, right? Okay, so we'll recrop it for each. I'm not going to show you all of this, but just to kind of give you an idea of how this part works, right? We're just going to save it like this, and then we're just going to save it to the Beerus thing, and then we are going to do, we'll call it Screaming Beerus Complete, no key. Alright, so now, speaking of the key, comes the fun part, right? We save this as an image and not the actual canvas. So we can just do a step backward and bam, there's everything that we had before. So that's an easy way to do that. I will save these images and whatnot and crop them off camera, because that'll just be wasted time in the video. I just ripped off my headphones, whoops. But there is one more thing that we have to do before we end here on Beerus, and that is the key, right? Now, this is really weird because this is the size of Beerus's asset, and this is the size of the key asset. So they really do just make this a whole lot bigger. So let's get our transforming controls back and get that boy way big. Yeah, that's terrifying. That looks like Ghost Rider or something like that. Interesting. Let's get this behind everything here. We'll just start with this Beerus. So we need this to be the right size. Not too big, not too small. I didn't actually put it behind Beerus's body. Whoops. Okay. So let's use the head as a reference. I don't think that's big enough because there's not enough space for both sides. Yeah, no, we can see that here it kind of clips out of the key a little bit. His head clips out of the key a little bit. Let's see. Maneuver this. Let me, you know what? I'll do some adjustments to this and then we'll come back.
2,000 years later.
Okay, honestly, I think that looks pretty good. Again, remember, the key just stays stagnant, so this isn't actually the one in the background of this particular image. Is it of this one? No, it's not the same as any of these. I'm just judging it by this side bit here. But we'll just keep the same key for all of these because, again, it doesn't really matter. With the key, too, it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. A, because it's just supposed to be surrounding him, right? And of course it's moving around his body, so it's not going to cover his entire body in certain areas. And B, one thing that I didn't even notice until now is that you don't even see the bottom half of this asset. You only see it cut up to about his shoulders, right? And you don't even see the top of his ears because it just zooms into this. And it uses, let's see, I believe this Beerus to zoom in. So that is pretty cool. And this does look pretty good with all of these heads. Whoops. I really do like this, actually. It looks super, super cool with the key. And again, I like how the key is like moving around and stuff like that. So it'll look a little bit different. I will post, obviously these assets are already up. And like I said, I will post the Beerus with this key on it already. If you want to try this yourself, because this one shouldn't be too hard to do, and you would like one of these other key effects maybe, if you think it would look a little bit better than this one, definitely go ahead. But I am going to post all three of these with the key and without the key, and as well as Whis. We are actually only going to do these two for the video today because I believe the video is already long enough, even with the bits that we're going to speed up. So thank you guys for watching. In the next video, we will be tackling the scene where Beerus's essay begins with the lens flare. I'll see if I can pop it up on the screen, but someone on the Reddit was really, really curious if I could either get those assets or recreate them and have that as a wallpaper, and I 100% agree. It looks fantastic. It's going to be a very weird episode of rebuilding the assets, I'm going to be honest, because how the assets are really weird. So I'll explain it in that video, though. Again, thank you guys for so much. Thank you guys for so much. Yes, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love doing these. I love doing stuff in Photoshop. So this video series is great for me, and I know it obviously helps having these extra assets that normally you would have to put back together and just kind of posting them up. Again, links to the PNGs of everything that we put back together in this video are in the description below on Dokkan Assets. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Having you two out. Peace.